On the Boost menu this time, dining out in the raw. And sipping tea fresh from the plantation. We check out the buzz on bee sting therapy. And chill out with a chocolate massage. A British celebrity chef is catching a bus to prove you're never too young to care about what you eat. Gary Rhodes is treating primary school students to a special lesson in the art of preparing fresh, flavoursome and healthy foods. The junior chefs are among thousands of children who will be taught how to make simple, tasty and healthy dishes in specially designed mobile kitchens.
What we're trying to do here, and is so important here, is show these children, look, this is really what raw and simple ingredients are all about. This is how you can take those vegetables that you bypass in your greengrocers or your supermarkets, and how you can actually put those now in and mix them with other flavours and create something really quite exciting. And I find it infusing because, you know, once they've started using those flavours, they've actually baked something with them, they can't wait to eat it.
The Focus on Food campaign also encourages children to have fun with physical exercise, to gain strength, fitness and to burn off excess calories that may turn to fat. The campaign is also urging parents to become involved.
Parents have to take a really positive role in getting out and playing football with the kids and teaching them how to eat properly. I mean, your children do what you do. There's a great advert about smoking. I smoke because you smoke. And the same is absolutely true with diet and exercise. So if you eat inappropriately, your children will eat inappropriately. If you do no exercise, they'll do no exercise. So people should possibly stop blaming society, the government and so forth, and go off their backsides and do it themselves. Parents.
Back in the kitchen, children who used to turn their noses up at green vegetables or fish are relishing the prospect of tasting their own dishes.
I feel really proud of myself that I've made that something by myself. I'm really happy because I made new things today I haven't made before.
It's the oil of the peanuts.
Famous for his cooking programmes on TV, celebrity chef Gary Rhodes hopes his short shift as teacher will lead to a long-term focus on food in schools.
It's an essential part of our education. For goodness sake, we have to eat every single day, don't we? So let's at least show them, give them a basic knowledge of how to work with foods, how to recognise flavours.
By adding cooking to the usual lessons on spelling and maths, organisers of the Focus on Food campaign hope to give children a lifelong appreciation of what they eat. Yoga has long been a popular form of exercise and relaxation in Asia. But now a major annual exhibition in London is testifying to the growing popularity of yoga, not so much as an exotic Eastern philosophy, but as a mainstream remedy to the stresses of modern Western life. It started off 14 years ago as a mind-body-soul exhibition, which incorporated aspects of complementary health. But the popularity and demand for yoga have become such that it's now called simply the Yoga Show, and it claims to offer all things yoga under one roof.
We did a little bit of research recently to see who was actually taking up yoga, and it's been always the domain, if you like, for women mainly, but we're seeing increasing demand now for men taking up yoga, and that goes through from every aspect of working life. So we've got different people taking up, from the guys in the boardroom right the way through to builders. Everybody can actually benefit from that, and the men are really picking up on this.
Classes are an obvious attraction, while lectures offer a deeper understanding of the philosophy of yoga and a whole range of alternative therapies. They cover everything from Tibetan singing bowls and Vedic knowledge to yoga for slimmers and sufferers of back pain, even the importance of laughter and correct breathing. But behind the spirituality of yoga, the volume and range of products on display and the number of visitors also bear witness to its growing commercial potential.
Obviously it's popular, and that will attract different people. So generally, yes, it's going to be on the up. Big business, not yet, but I think it could well be in the future.
The show is packed with just about everything you could wish to know about complementary therapies. Yoga, Pilates, Ayurveda, and a wide range of products promoting healthy lifestyles. From mats to bolsters, bags and belts to holidays, teacher training and clothing. And it's probably your best chance of laying your hands on a lovely retro pink leotard and a pair of matching leg warmers. In this kitchen, you won't find an oven, but a dehydrator. You won't find a boiling pot, but a blender. This is New York Kitchen of Quintessence Restaurant, one of only half a dozen raw food restaurants in the United States. Dan Hoyt is head chef and co-owner.
Raw foodism is the idea of eating food as close to nature as possible. It's unprocessed, unrefined, eating things the way that they would come from nature.
Raw foodists eat fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, but they won't eat anything cooked or baked. That means they won't eat bread or pasta. And if they have rice, it isn't cooked, but it may be soaked for a month.
Almost every health issue that we deal with in our society today is a result of our body trying to get rid of things that we put in our bodies that doesn't belong there. Things that our digestive system has no mechanism to deal with.
Raw foodists say their diet enables them to feel younger, look younger, have more energy and need less sleep. They say the cooking process destroys many vitamins and minerals and essential food enzymes. But New York University dietitian Jeannie Holland says cooking food actually helps.
When you cook food, you start pre-digestion, or you start to already break down some of the food. It lessens the work that your body has to do. So by cooking food, you make it more digestible and you make it easier for your body to assimilate.
Another concern is that germs may not be killed if the food isn't cooked. But for Andrea Morgenstern, raw foodism is more than a diet, it's an ethical choice.
I feel better not consuming animal products, and also it doesn't pollute the environment as much as a cooked vegan diet because there's not as much packaging involved, so there's less waste, less stuff to throw away.
All the more reason Hoyt believes the raw food trend will increasingly satisfy people's appetite. Coming up, a cup of very fresh tea. With its stunning views over Sri Lanka's rolling green tea hills, this mansion was designed to compensate for the loneliness of British tea planters living far from their families. The plantation remains, but after a massive refurbishment, the mansion and several others are now at the heart of a scheme to woo some of the world's highest-spending tourists who want a few quiet days sampling the colonial tea estate life.
Really interested in the scenery we have here, particularly interested in staying on a tea plantation. The images of tea plucks is something I've grown up with since being a young boy, but the images on PG tips. And we're particularly interested in staying in a colonial-style bungalow, try and get a taste of that lifestyle.
Some 4 hours' drive from the capital, Colombo, Norwood is deep in the hills that have produced Ceylon tea since the 19th century. But with polished wooden beds draped in mosquito nets, colonial-style furniture, gourmet food and swimming pools, the luxury does not come cheap.
And we thought Sri Lanka had a great combination of beautiful country landscapes, flora and fauna, the beaches, the culture, the cuisine, the people. So we thought this would be a really great choice. And so far, we've been proved right. We've had a fantastic time.
Guests can tour the tea factories that dry, cut and process the tea leaves for shipment to auction in Colombo, and talk through the industry with the resort's planter in residence, someone with a deep and long experience of the industry.
I think the primary reason that they come here is because of the British colonial feel that these bungalows have, mainly because these are originally put up by the British who were here doing the tea plantations, and also, let's say, the tea country. I mean, most of the tourists who come here, they do a tea tour as well, a tea experience or a tea factory and a tea estate visit.
The firm says it's likely to take 7 years to pay off the investment taken to refurbish the bungalows. But with such high potential revenues, other tea firms are looking at converting some of their own bungalows for high-end tourism. 100 kilometres west of the capital, Colombo, the cooler, wetter tea hills are already one of the key tourist destinations in Sri Lanka.
since most tourists, about 40% of those tourists who arrive in Sri Lanka going to the hill country, we thought of creating a new area in the hill country to be positioned as the destination of choice for upmarket tourists. And after having done extensive research, we picked the Bogontalawa region as the most suitable area for tourism and created these bungalows.
Some guests have found the only drawback to be the long, tortuous road journey from the capital, and so have simply booked a helicopter at the cost of a mere several $1,000s. If relaxing on a plantation is a little tame, the growing adventure market has plenty to offer those looking for a walk on the wild side. In the UK alone, the Activity Days market has almost doubled in size over the past 2 years. Analysts Mintel International say the sector was worth an estimated £60 million in 2000, and it's jumped to £239 million since. The sector is made up of a large number of small companies, offering a wide range of experience such as four-wheel racing, whitewater rafting and helicopter rides for anything from £25,000 to £8,000. One company thriving on meeting our growing need for excitement is London's Red Letter Days, a gift company which specialises in indulgent and unique experiences, like adrenaline sports and wildlife adventures.
Red Letter Days was started at the end of the 80s, and really the concept was, what do you give the man who has everything? And it really was just very much a gut instinct of mine that this could be the idea for a fantastic business. And as we grew, we just started feeding more and more ideas into the business, listening to what customers wanted and building it like that. I don't think at the beginning we had any idea just how big it could grow.
Activity days like buggy adventures and paragliding are attracting a mixture of personal and business clients. The adrenaline rush from an adventure experience is said to carry on into work and social areas of life.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, what can I say? Just being up there, it's cool, really cool.
That was fantastic. I was really nervous. That dip felt huge. I just feel like I could tackle anything now. I'm invincible. It was marvellous.
Other adventures on the Red Letter Day menu include gliding, ballooning, camel riding, dolphin watching, or even scuba diving with sharks. There's nothing like a spot of fresh sea air to get you going in the morning, especially when you're being barked at by a sergeant in a military-style training regime. Boot camps are the latest fitness craze in Australia, and one health club has chosen Sydney's famous Bondi Beach as the perfect scenic backdrop for its early morning drills. The exercise programs are being marketed as an outdoor alternative to working out in a gym, promising fat reduction and increased fitness in a short period of time. Those signing up for the course are put through their paces by military-trained instructors, whom they are required to address by the correct rank, anything from Lance Corporal to Chief. Recruits are punished, either individually or with their whole team, for misdemeanours such as turning up in a dirty kit, arriving late, or talking whilst their sergeant is loudly issuing orders. Punishment is usually 50 push-ups, but recruits arriving in dirty kit are frequently hosed down or tossed into the surf. The company running the boot camps, Fitness First, says most of their instructors either have armed forces experience or have completed military personal training with the Australian Army. The week's program is similar to the US Army's basic training program for new recruits. The final session of the week, known as Baffle PT, adds a mental element to the training, which might involve a mock search and rescue mission or other military simulation.
One of the exercises that we did today was run and cover. So there'll be 2 ranks, one person will run. The idea is that the person at the back is firing while the person at the front is running. So that's a military exercise. Then duck, tap the leg, get up and go again.
Recruits tend to be professionals working in the metropolitan area, looking for an alternative to working out indoors.
Come on, lift those feet, get them up, get them up, get them up.
It was absolutely exhausting, but it's refreshing. There's nothing more that motivates you than getting up
at like 5:30 in the morning, 3 days a week, looking forward to it. By the time you get to work, you're so full of energy, so full of beans. It's the best. I've never been so motivated in my life.
But what about the shouting?
It's not a matter of being shouted at, it's a matter of being motivated.
But some local residents don't share his enthusiasm.
Well, you know, someone shouting orders at you at 6 o'clock in the morning is not my idea of, you know, fun. We come here to exercise and, you know, relax and breathe in the fresh air.
Sydney's most famous beach is a hive of activity at first light most mornings of the year. It's home to one of the oldest surf lifesaving clubs in Australia and is well frequented by surfers, kayakers, swimmers, runners and strollers.
It doesn't disturb my peace. It's a big beach and they don't take up much space. I wouldn't go in it. It's too militaristic for me.
Those that support the camps point to the health benefits. Figures out earlier this year from the Australian Medical Association found that more than 50% of Australians were either overweight or obese. Coming up, this won't hurt much. Getting stung by bees may not be most people's idea of a healing experience. But at the Pramuka Apiary Centre in Indonesia, people are queuing up to be stung up to 10 times in the hope of curing various ailments. Apitherapy or bee therapy is a practice using products such as honey, raw jelly, pollen and venom to treat many health problems. The bee sting therapy is now gaining popularity in Indonesia as an alternative medicine to relieve pain and numbness from rheumatoid arthritis, tendinitis, bursitis, musculoskeletal injuries and multiple sclerosis. Bee venom is a rich source of enzymes, peptides and biogenic amines. There are at least 18 active components in the venom which are believed to have some pharmaceutical properties. The effect mechanism of the venom is not entirely known yet, but scientists believe it can modify the way the immune system functions in the body and contribute to increased cortisol production. 59-year-old Warsini is a regular at the centre. The treatment works for my cramps and numbness. I told my doctor that I would undergo this bee sting therapy, and he told me to go ahead. A patient can only receive a maximum of 10 stings in one visit, and the lead therapist says he won't treat those suffering from hypersensitivity of the skin, allergies, tuberculosis, hyperglycemia, serious kidney disease, or heart disease. Normally, a therapist will directly apply the sting at the source of the pain, but in some cases he applies it according to acupuncture points. The sting from a honeybee would normally be left on the body of a patient for 10 minutes. The therapist says toxin released by the bee sting gradually normalizes the function of the nerves. The therapy usually starts with determining whether the patient is allergic to the venom by administering a small amount of venom under the skin. If no allergic reaction develops within a certain time, the therapy is continued with the administration of 1 to 2 bee stings. The therapy is carried out every other day, say 3 times a week, by gradually increasing the number of bee stings. Not surprisingly, the treatment usually involves discomfort, including pain, itching, swelling, inflammation and redness. But symptoms like redness, swelling and itching are actually desired effects of the therapy and show the response of the patient to the venom. The more severe the reaction, as long as it's not life-threatening, the faster the recovery. I got Bell's palsy trauma into the 7th cranial nerve. It paralyzed my facial muscle. I've been through medications for 5 days, and it does not make me feel better. I heard about bee venom therapy, but unfortunately, I live far from here. This patient, a newcomer to the centre, says he'll give up conventional medicines if the therapy works, clearly subscribing to the belief that there can be no gain without pain. Not many people came to this therapy until 2002. Back then, we had just begun introducing this type of treatment to the public. Out of 100 people who had undergone the treatment, 85 of them were usually cured. Historians say that bee sting therapy dates back to Hippocrates, the father of medicine. but the method has yet to be scientifically approved. Indonesia's health ministry has not endorsed the practice, despite the growing popularity of the healing technique. Ouch! If you're looking for something a little more soothing in the way of treatment, how about a taste of chocolate therapy? Chocoholics in India's southern Chennai are discovering a whole new way to spoil themselves, as beauty experts encourage them to spread their favourite indulgence on their face and skin. Hardly anyone can resist chocolate, and customers are finding it hard not to succumb to the new treatment that promises to delight the senses. Beauty experts claim that chocolate has anti-aging properties and is beneficial for dry skin. Moreover, as it's a natural product, it's relatively safe to use it on most skin types. Proponents of chocolate therapy also say cocoa encourages an increase in the production of the body's feel-good chemical serotonin. Other claimed healing properties of chocolate on the skin include stress relief and anti-pollution. A hot chocolate facial is supposed to deliver instant radiance, softness, relaxation and comfort to stressed skin. Some companies are even offering chocolate manicures as part of a cocktail party service.
The main ingredient in chocolate is cocoa. And chocolate, it's not only a facial, we call it as a chocolate therapy, like, it's a treatment. Like, if you do it regularly, you can see the fantastic result in that. See, chocolate, we are using one not only for the face, for also the hands and the feet, like a pedicure or a manicure. Even for the body, we'll be having chocolate wraps.
In this therapy, chocolate in its various forms, be it powder or paste, is applied on the skin and peeled off like a mask after it dries. The customers swear by its benefits, and the fashion-conscious youth in Chennai are very excited by the new therapy. People of all ages are trying the chocolate pedicures and manicures, and beauty experts believe that soon it will be the most preferred treatment. Gone are the days when mothers would warn about chocolate being bad for one's skin. With this trend, mothers too might soon be flocking into the beauty parlours to get the tasty skin treatments.
Well, firstly, to start off with, I am a chocolate person. I love chocolate, and what better could I ask for than a chocolate pedicure itself? I think everyone should have a chocolate pedicure, because at the end of it, it feels awesome, as in my skin feels, before it was like really dry, and now I can feel the difference already.
And of course, you end up with feet you could eat. But what do they do with that leftover chocolate?